And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com, www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Go to the app, have it delivered. They will bring it to your front door pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop. Or go to Dayton, Kentucky, Wednesday through Sunday, lunch and dinner, and tell them to pump it up. They will save yourself 15%. I'm excited, Aaron. I'm meeting up with Shane for some business stuff on Thursday, so I'm going to get my Galactic fix.
There you go.
Excited. It's been far too long. I've been far too busy running around doing stupid stuff like agreeing to do radio from 6 to 9 on the 4th of July. But
I mean, you got to fulfill a dream, though. You got to be on the mothership.
Well, I've been on LW before, but I've never done the sports talk. I've never done Lance's show. Like, I've filled in on weekends and a couple other times, but
the big spot.
Most notoriously, the night I got called last minute the day that Kobe died. Because I think they were going to have like non-sports programming. Yeah. And they were like, we need sports programming because Kobe died. So I went in and did like a weekend shift when the day Kobe died. But that's the first time I've done sports talk. Look, if you grow up in this town wanting to be on radio, Bob Trumpy, Andy Furman, like you wanted to be on sports talk. So it was kind of a little checking off another box on the old accomplishment list and got to do something I've wanted to do all my life. So it was very cool. And the people were very welcoming, and it went really well. Like I said, it was nice that the Reds won because nobody wants to be sitting in there in a room by yourself 6 to 9 on a holiday, and everybody's angry. Everybody's happy. Everybody's in a good mood today.
I mean, it was nice. They came out the gates real quick first inning, so it was. I didn't get to watch all of it, but what I got to see, I think I saw through 3 or 4, and it won me money anyway. So it was fun watching them.
It was good times. But while I was on the air, Jaquan Sanks, a defensive back from Central High School in Phoenix, I believe it's pronounced Phoenix, Alabama, committed to the Bearcats.
If that sounds familiar, there's a reason it should. I don't know if you recall this or not.
Same high school as JQ Hardaway.
JQ Hardaway also went there, yes.
Very like a powerhouse high school. So if you can continue, even though you had a kid commit and then show up and then transfer, you can go back in there and still have a presence. That's really good for your program because they pump out a lot of dudes. So
I think that speaks to what Kerry Combs meant to at least the head coach down there in recruiting JQ and then also recruiting Jaquan Sanks here. But another feather in the cap for this recruiting class as you add a cornerback. I believe I read somewhere that he played more slot than outside.
But I think he can play. He's big enough. He can play outside.
Absolutely.
And then he also, I wouldn't be shocked if he ever maybe got to look at safety as well when he gets here. Just the way he likes to hit. He's physical.
Don't hate that.
So you want guys with position versatility. He's an 85 on 24/7, no composite yet. But just adding into what should be a really talented defensive backfield group for Cincinnati. You mix them with Daniel James and Marcavius Sabor and Willie Goodwin and what else we got? Zaravian Gravy Johnson. And then Jaquan Sanks. So we've talked about this, Aaron. Go get as many DBs as you can. Go get as many, 6 foot to 6'3", 175 pound to 200 pound athletes, and get them to campus and figure it out. It's the way the game has changed, the way offenses are run. You need as many of those guys as you can put on the field that are capable of playing at a high level. I know there's some folks down in Alabama that are really high on this kid that cover the high school scene down there. that think he's got a chance to be much better than the level that he was recruited overall. And Cincinnati ends up with what should be a pretty good one from the state of Alabama. So, I just think that's another positive sign of the recruiting momentum that we have seen from this class. And I think that should about do it from all the official visit weekends that we've seen. I don't think there's anybody else. That leaves them at 17 commits. 39th overall, 39th in the composite. So pretty good haul so far for Scott Satterfield in year one.
Yeah, before I get to that, I did want to mention that Sanks was also offered by Boston College, Indiana, App State, Coastal Carolina, Georgia Tech, Houston, Jacksonville State, Liberty, Memphis, even Alabama and Auburn showed interest. So it's a good get. And you bring up the class as a whole, and that was something else that I had wanted to touch on as we look at it. And things are kind of coming into the end stages, I guess I would say. As right now you got your quarterback, you got your running back, you got 4 receivers, you got 2 offensive linemen, 2 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, 5 DBs. What else do you think this class might need?
More outside offensive linemen, tackles. I think you could definitely use another tackle or 2.
That's another one where there's never enough, right?
Right.
Along the same line as more defensive back. Sure.
I think you could use a little bit more on the defensive line as well. I mean, I think skill and big skill, meaning, the quarterback, wide receiver, running back, defensive backs, linebackers, tight ends. I think it's a really good haul. I think obviously you'd always like to add more on the interior, both offensively and defensively. So I'm sure they'll have their eye out for that. And some of that, especially offensive line, will be kids, because the bigger kids mature slower in terms of their physicality, their body. I'm sure they'll be on the lookout for guys that have really big senior seasons and, try to make some waves there. But like I said, I don't think you're going to see many classes at 25 anymore, just because, that number is irrelevant now. That's a number we used to have to hold hard and firm on. And now it's just a mix of how many guys are you losing? What do you project in terms of how many spots you're going to have open? How many transfers you want to have? What's the right number? What's that ballpark for high school kids? So I wouldn't expect a ton more, maybe 20, 21, somewhere in that range. That could always change. Obviously, it's recruiting. You never know how quickly those numbers can fluctuate. But in terms of everything away from the line of scrimmage, I think it's a really solid 2024 class.
Well, and
that's not to say I think the interior guys they got are bad, just that I think they would like more of them, if you will.
As we look at it right now, you have Texas Tech in the driver's seat, number 1 in the conference, Texas at 2, West Virginia at 3, Kansas at 4, Cincinnati coming in at 5, Iowa State at 6, and a lot of people are talking about UCF's class now that they land their 4th 4-star. They're still sitting at number 7.
Their numbers are low. They've only got 10 commits. But in talking to some people in the industry, it sounds like they're taking some 4-stars that people have been kind of backing off of a little bit. Guys that had some hype early in the cycle and then have not really had the number of places you would think that they could commit to as they got to the end of the road. So I think that'll be interesting to watch. We'll see. I mean, kudos to them they've got 10 commits, 4 of them are 4-stars. But we'll see. Are they doing the right thing and trying to find kids that fit, or are they trying to, win the recruiting rankings, which as we know, it matters some, but if you're bringing in the wrong kids just because they're a 4-star, it does more harm than good. And usually what you find out is a year, 2 down the road, none of those kids are at your school anymore. So we'll see.
Obviously, we have had lots of conversation around Bearcat Journal, around Twitter, people talking about we need the 4 stars, we need the 5 stars, et cetera, et cetera.
Still have to get the right kids.
You look at Kansas, though. Kansas has 3 4 stars, and Kansas's average is at 87.24, whereas Cincinnati is at 86.78. It's not that far off. Not enough to where I think you're talking a giant difference, right?
Right. It's something we've talked about before, too. Like, 3 stars, there's such a
disparity.
5 stars are like this.
The top
4
and the bottom.
stars,
Yeah.
4 stars are like this. 3 stars, it's like the gap is, are you getting 88s and 87s, or are you getting 84s and 83s? So, Cincinnati's got, I think, 8 guys that are 86 or 87 and higher. They're recruiting a good chunk right in that range that you would like to see. So, yeah, I mean, if you're getting 3 guys that are 89s and then a bunch of guys that are 84s or 83s, like, is that really the path, like the way that you want to do things? Or would you rather stack up on 87, 88, 89 and try to balance your roster with talent all in equal range, roughly?
Even looking all the way up to Texas Tech with 5 4 stars, 3 11 or 11 3 stars, they're only at 88.41, and they're number 1 in class. So again, not a giant disparity between where they're at and where Cincinnati's at 86.78. So I know everybody wants to be sky is falling because your first year in the Big 12, and you apparently thought you were going to land
the number 1 class in the conference, yeah,
a 4 star for every 3 star or something. I'm not really sure, but I just want to just tell everybody it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, right?
Promise.
I know we didn't have a ton to talk about tonight, but we at least wanted to do a little something on your July 4th holiday.
Well, more importantly, we wanted, when people wake up and have to drag their ass to work tomorrow, get a little content, right? You want to have a little content to get you through that early morning bump where you're like, man, I do not want to be here. I was out lighting off fireworks until 11 o'clock because it's 11:04 and there are still fireworks aplenty in my neighborhood, as you can hear.
And again, if you did not watch the BBP last night, we do wish you a happy July 4th, happy Independence Day. And I think
hope everybody had a blast.
Wraps it up.
We'll see you next time. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!